Good morning. Again, I would like to welcome all of you and thank you very much for being here. And hi, as usual, before we start the teaching and practice, take a moment and correct motivation. And remember the 3 spring methods that I taught last night, and investigate your mind, your thoughts, and send love and positive thoughts to all sentient beings. It's good for us and good for others. That's how we start our spiritual practice. And correct motivation, when we think about inwardly, deep down, we all have the same situation, right? Both mentally, physically, meaning we are uncertain. There is anxiety, there is anger, there is jealousy, there is ignorance, etc. If we understand this situation, not just intellectually, but deeply realize this situation, then really we are not different from each other. We are suffering from nothing other than negative emotions. And we are unhappy with all these situations. And when we really think and when we realize all these situations, and then when we examine this realization, then we are not just only concerned about ourselves selfishly, but we will deeply think about all sentient beings, because we will see that we all are dependent on each other. And then we will start to observe all the different difficulties that we are facing. Then it gives us amazing strength, confidence, love, compassion, and a sense of responsibility to take care of each other. Then we feel that we are not alone. Instead, we totally feel that we are not just a human being, but we are a part of all sentient beings. And once we take full responsibility for our selfishness and develop a pure and genuine motivation, then helping others will be very authentic and very genuine. Intellectually, we understand all sentient beings are mostly, suffering from all this kind of difficult situations. But that's not really enough. When I say correct motivation, not just intellectually, we really have to think deeply. Then once you really feel that from the bottom of your heart, then you really, you don't care anything, but you really want sort of help. That's why we need to correct our motivation. Otherwise, when we start at the beginning, hey, good morning, enjoy, say nice things. But when we start talk about all this kind of negative suffering, samsara, all that's kind of like not nice way to start our day. But if we really think and deeply, then it brings us this kind of strength and confidence, love, compassion. That makes us very happy and have a good day. Not just only think about negative part, but use that as a method. And then we can bring this joy, happiness, compassion, love, once we really take full responsibility for our selfishness. So otherwise, we always, all the time, me, this selfishness, right? Then we just kind of ignore others' situation, even though intellectually we understand, but that doesn't really bring all these qualities that we have, like love, compassion, bodhicitta, So that's why correct motivation is very important, and we really have to take this like seriously, right? How, like, you have to really think deeply, how can I feel this? Not just understand intellectually, So therefore, motivation is, as I said, connected with our intention, with our thoughts, right? So we have to just take a moment and think and investigate at this moment in your head, in your mind, what kind of thoughts, That's how we start. And make sure that you have genuine love and compassion for doing this, not only for yourself, but for everyone. That's the motivation. And then maintaining concentration is be mindful, right? That's all. Kanchen Pamatsewa always say that, and told us, if you when he started to teach, then he said, if you focus on my teaching without any other thought, then basically you are meditating on mindfulness, because you have no other thoughts other than you just really focus on the words and the teachings and everything. That once you correct your motivation very purely, then just focus on the teachings, whether you like or not. Sometimes people are different. Sometimes when like, I had this kind of experience when he taught, sometimes like this Buddhist philosophy and all these things. Sometimes I get bored, kind of, but doesn't matter whether you like or not, just try to focus on the teachings. That means you are meditating mindfulness. That means you are maintaining your concentration, because then that's you can, of course, this is when I focus on my teachings, you focus on the teachings. That means we are meditating on mindfulness, right? Concentration. So that's easier than like, quiet and meditate. Sometimes then you have all these thoughts right in your head. But when somebody teach and then you just focus on the words and teachings and meaning, then you have no other negative thoughts. Then you are really sort of maintaining, concentration. That's wonderful. That's the second. Then finally, dedicating is part of the three spring methods, and it's another important one. And the dedicating is actually part of your generosity practice, So you are accumulating the best merit. So this is also part of Bodhicitta practice, right? So we have to do these three methods because as they are the foundation of our practice. And this is how we start, how we maintaining, and how we finish our practice. Especially, I always say, we need to develop this motivation. And then another thing is, self-reflection. My teachers always talk this, self-reflection is a key component in our ability to improve ourselves along with different situations. So now I have to remind everyone once again to reflect on the many years of your Mahayana Buddhist practice, to see how much developed precious bodhicitta in your mind. Reflect on your thoughts and to see how you handle like situations. As a Mahayana Buddhist practitioners, we have to investigate ourselves every single day. Am I better than before practice Buddhism or not? Do I have less negative thoughts or not? These are, otherwise, what is point to practice Buddhism, to become a Buddhist? And sometimes it's hard. People misunderstand, take refuge vows, take bodhisattva vows, take, empowerments. Then people are really difficult because, I believe Buddhist teachings, but I don't want to take refuge vows because you have all these kind of rules and I don't want, follow all that, right? So we, took refuge vows, all this, and become a Buddhist, and then practice, especially Mahayana Buddhism. So that means we have to reflect on ourselves every single day. Am I a better person than before the practice Buddhism? If not, same, then what is the point? Waste your time, spend a lot of money for this kind of events and try to practice and then nothing change. What is the point? What is, why you want to do this, So that's why my teachers always say, reflect on yourself. because you, the person, only know who you are and whether you're better or not. So you have to, if today is, how do I say, today is the last day of my life. Am I ready to let go of everything? I mean, we never know. I hope not, but it's everything is uncertain. So if today is my last day, am I ready? How strong my attachment? Am I ready to go of everything or not? Am I using my time wisely or not? And all these things, what matters most in my life? Have I done anything that is good, that is meaningful, that is kindness? We have to investigate all that. What do I need to change about myself? Practice Mahayana Buddhism. What do I want most in my life? How deeply do I believe in Buddha Dharma? And if you could accomplish only one thing before you die, what would it be? What's the one thing you would like others to remember about you at the end of your life? Or when you have negative thoughts, how do you let them go? And replace them with your positive thoughts. So all these things always happening, right, in our life. So we have to sort of investigate. Let's say, what three things would you like to change most about yourself? Just three things. So you should ask yourself questions related to seeing, doing, thinking, feeling, etc. So you see, all you need to do is ask yourself this kind of questions, and maybe it's helpful if you write down these questions, then write down your answers to the questions. That helps you to understand where you are. I used to, because my great teachers, nothing, about myself, but I had great teachers, so that's why I questions, to myself like that, and then write down, and then when I see them, then I can see, am I better or not? Most time I can see not, it's kind of same when you have a difficult situations, when I, and then I get angry, all these things. So it's just difficult to change, but it's, if you want to change, then we have to investigate and what is the best solution and instructions in order to change these negative thoughts or whatever. So as a Mahayana Buddhist practitioner, it is important to investigate and reflect on yourself, reflect on these things. Then you know the benefits of practicing Mahayana Buddhism. Otherwise, it can be hard to know when you don't have a clear idea of whether you are satisfied with your practice or not. So paying attention to what is going on with your practice, with your life. I think Mahayana meditation is a powerful method for self-reflection and also personal growth. Otherwise, our ordinary mind is kind of made of ego, self-grasping. So if we have negative thoughts and we keep on complaining or criticizing ourselves and others, then that is what our life will become. And then we will always be upset and see the sort of bad things about life, ourselves and others. But if we choose to have positive thoughts, we see the good in everything, and we then don't blame others and ourselves for mistakes. Then that is also what our life will become. So as a Mahayana Buddhist practitioner, the minimum goal we should set for ourselves of this life is to enter the bodhisattva's path of accumulation, which is the first step to start the journey of Dharma practice, the Mahayana Buddhism. So what is that? Accumulation, the path of accumulation. It is, as I always say, genuine bodhicitta. And that is how we start to take this path. That's why, as you know, the teachings I have given so far all deal with bodhicitta. Sure, I can also teach some, like advanced, like Vajrayana practice, such as, the great perfection, or give, in empowerment and etc. But that's not the first step and how we start the journey of Dharma practice, because that will not be helpful to most of the beginner of Mahayana Buddhist practitioners. So in order to reach enlightenment, you need two things, right? How simple as that, like bodhicitta and great perfection. But we are not looking for or reach enlightenment this very lifetime. I'm not discouraging you, but it's impossible. As like we have family, work, all these things, and it's impossible. If you become a Mullaripa, then yeah, one lifetime it's possible becoming enlightenment. But we're not like that. So then it's impossible. So then what is the best for us with a worldly life? All this, with family, with job and all these things. I think there's no doubt. We need only bodhicitta practice. Because it makes us really happy. I mean, I have that experience. Nothing, last night we talked about this young people now, it's just more and more crazy. We need spiritual practice. Without spiritual practice, I can see this more and more now. There's nothing can make you happy and everlasting happiness, not from no matter how much you have. Without spiritual practice, without bodhicitta practice, nothing can make you happy. Genuinely. So that's the thing. We have to, again, like reflecting on ourselves. Where are we? The first step is make sure that we are on the accumulation path. Are we on that path? I don't know. You know where you are. If you don't have bodhicitta mind, then you are not. We are not in that path. That's the first step. Doesn't matter, without bodhicitta, you receive hundreds of empowerment, receive the most, like the highest teachings like Dzogchen, emptiness, whatever. It's nothing. It's nothing. So make sure we really understand how we start and what is the best foundation of our, reach enlightenment, right? Enlightenment, the best foundation, liberation, is bodhicitta. And then once we have a bodhicitta, then whatever you do, it's just cause of enlightenment. Even like small act. Then of course, based on bodhicitta, you will receive like empowerment. You even say one mantra. How powerful. So I hope you will all make generation of bodhicitta as your aim and not rush to take any, Vajrayana practices, such as the great perfection or given empowerment, etc. Receive, empowerment and all that. So, and self-reflection, sometimes, as you know, self-reflection makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And it brings up difficult emotions if you are not developing anything, right? Disappointment, like, I became Buddhist so many years and this, I still like genuinely like, most people, like when we have this kind of group and event and practice together, like we kind of like pretend we are good people and we are like good practitioners like that. But when we are just in our room by our just self and then really sort of genuinely reflect on our life, then you can see nothing has really improved. then that makes you really brings this uncomfortable emotions, disappointment, all that, right? Uh, but as I said, it's like the self-reflections, as my teachers always say, how important self-reflection, investigate yourself, right? Once you become a Buddhist, then you don't have to investigate Buddhist teachings and Buddha Dharma Sangha because you already know and you are comfortable with. So then what you investigate, you don't have to investigate your teachers, your everything, but investigate yourself. That's is the Mahayana Buddhist practitioners do. Um, but then, as I said, it makes you sometimes uncomfortable. It's like when we think about, that we are sort of closer and closer to each sort of second and minute to the end of this life, right? When we think about impermanence, it can make us very uncomfortable, right? Then most people think, I'd rather enjoy my life and focus on how wonderful I am. I have a good family, I have money, I have everything. I just rather think about that, not like impermanence or I'm like closer and closer to the death. It makes uncomfortable. But Buddhist, like Buddha always like when he's Buddha's the best disciple, it's called Shariputra, right? You all know that Shariputra passed away, and then the the other students are just so sad because Shariputra was the best, kind of like the leader of the Sangha under the, Buddha, and then they lost him and they're so sad. And then Buddha told them like, Shariputra never died. Uh, Buddha said that you look at this tree, um, that is Shariputra's blessing. And he just talked about the impermanence of life. And then all the monks sort of use that as a motivation, as a method to do something meaningful, while, like, I have, you never know, everything impermanence. So right now I'm so fortunate and I'm healthy and I have these good opportunities, so I should do something meaningful. So then think about impermanence really beneficial. But if you don't do anything and just only think about impermanence, that negative side, it's just very difficult. It doesn't help you anything. But yeah, everything is impermanent. So right now I have this good opportunity, so I will do something good for at least just myself. Then it's really helpful, right? So similarly, if we want to know how we are doing with our Dharma practice, then the best way is through, as I said, self-reflection. Because then you will understand what you're doing with your practice. Then if you are not doing anything better, then you should do something. So self-reflect, not only like focus on our negative side, but use it as a method to improve our practice, then it will help us what we need to do. So reflecting on our actions, thoughts, emotions can help us gain self-awareness, right? And insight into our own conduct, behavior. It will help us discover ourselves, and really the best way to know ourselves. So yeah, that's I think very important for us, like become a Buddhist and practice Buddhism, receive so many teachings and now so many years. So where you are. So if you have bodhicitta, genuine like bodhicitta in your mind, then perfect. That's the point. Become a Buddhist, practice Mahayana Buddhism. If not bodhicitta in your mind, you have to do something. There's so many teachings. I'm not talking about Buddhist philosophy. That we don't need that. But mind training teachings. There are so many different methods and instructions, but I think only bodhicitta we should focus on. Only on bodhicitta. It's so easy, difficult to develop, but compared to other like nature mind, people think I recognize my nature mind. I don't know, right? But you can say, I know how to practice bodhicitta. I know what is bodhicitta. I mean, it's easy to understand, easy to put these teachings into your practice. So I think, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but like myself, like, I'm not looking for reach enlightenment this very lifetime. So what I want is make sure I have bodhicitta mind. The end of like, my last breath, right? Last breath with bodhicitta. If I remember bodhicitta at that time, I'm very satisfied. So focus on bodhicitta practice very, because it's everything. It's like make you happy, make others happy, gives you, it makes you, how do I say, satisfied, satisfied with everything. I have everything, I'm done. What about others, like that? Then you can see the suffering of others, and then you develop their love and compassion that makes your life meaningful. So that's that. Now the Kardamba masters give some important advices when we do this kind of events, like when we go on a retreat, and they give us very good advices, because Kardamba masters, they have lots of experience of mind training, because they're always on a retreat. They always practice mind training teachings and all that. So they give us really good advice. So there are few things. So I'm going to explain them a little bit. The first is they called power of body. This means when you meditate, when you go on a retreat, you know, if your body is not comfortable or body is unhealthy, when you meditate, then it will be difficult, right? Improve your meditation. Sometimes, you know, too much sitting meditation hurts your body. So then they say, like, you can do yoga, you can do, you know, all prostrations. This will help not to lose the power of body. So then you can meditate more. And then the second is power of speech. It means like this kind of events, you know, we need to make sure that when we have a group practice, we are harmonious. When we talk each other, make sure that the conversation is pleasant, be mindful. You can only, the best last night I said, like best your conversation with a group like this, you can talk about Buddha Dharma. You don't have to, I mean, if you want to share your life, you know, your situation, difficult, whatever, you can share that. But the best is like just talk about Buddha Dharma. So it's important to keep our relationship with each other very harmonious. Sometimes speech very powerful, right? Hurts people, you know. So be mindful. Then the third is they call power of mind, right? Of course, this is the most important. It means we need a good concentration when we do meditation. Sometimes it's very usual, you know, like there are negative thoughts and negative emotions. Then we cannot concentrate. We cannot meditate. No matter how long you meditate, try to meditate with concentration, with mindfulness. If you can't focus, then use a good method that helps your concentration, okay? The last one they call the power of energy. Power of energy means when you meditate in a group or by yourself, if you are experiencing sort of negative energy, and it could be yours, it could be others, whatever negative energy, try to transform it into positive energy. Use your bodhicitta mind. That's Kadamba masters always do. It's really true. Like when I go to negative places, I can feel the negative energy. So then try to remember bodhicitta. That's how you transform it into positive energy. So usually a group practice is very beneficial. It gives us good energy, especially those people with a bodhicitta mind. They're just full like positive energy. So Kadamba masters, these are like give us really good advice. You know, these are the inner condition of body and mind when we are practicing. Because you know, without all this like solution, you know, instruction, it's like just to sit and try to meditate is hard. So we need all this kind of methods and technique, all this, then it sometimes very helpful. That's that. Now the topic for this retreat, teaching and meditation is, as you know, I'm going to teach you how to practice bodhicitta based on a pattern which is text called, probably you know, the brightly shining sun. Because this text is about the stages of guide to meditating on the Bodhicharya Avatara. As you know, the Bodhicharya Avatara is written by the great Bodhisattva Shantadewa. I will say a few words about his life. Those you are new, many of you know. But Shantadewa is an 8th century Indian scholar from Nalanda University. He became a real bodhisattva. And he gained a realization of emptiness and bodhicitta. And as you know, he had visions of Manjushri all the time. And then he wrote this great teaching, Way of Bodhisattva. So if you want to study and practice Mahayana Buddhism, then there is no doubt this teaching is the perfect guide and the best, because this text teaches us how to develop bodhicitta and how to practice the 6 paramitas, right? So this teaching is about how to engage in the conduct of bodhisattva. So if you want to make a Mahayana path, then studying and practicing this text is the best. And it is essential instruction for everyone who really want to develop a kind mind and to have a happy and meaningful life. Because, you know, I heard, last time I told you this, I heard many teachers who have a lot of good experience on how to teach Mahayana Buddhism to Western people. They investigate, right? Not me, but I heard good other teachers who had good experience. They investigate and they said, Vajrayana is not the best for Western people. Mahayana Buddhism is the best Western people. They said that especially the Bodhicharya Avatara is the perfect introduction for Western students, because students who have studied and practiced the Bodhicharya Avatara, they said will have a very solid and stable Mahayana foundation for their Vajrayana practice. So they say for Western people, practice Vajrayana without Mahayana foundation, not good. Then your practice is not stable, not solid. But practice Mahayana as a foundation for your Vajrayana practice, then it's perfect. Then both, you know, your Vajrayana practice, very stable and very powerful, based on bodhicitta practice. So that's why this teaching is, I think, They say very, very good. I mean, good for everyone. That's Shantadewa. Now I will tell you a little bit about this special, this what do you call it? This ceremony, this event. It's called Chodjug Chodpa in Tibetan, right? Chodjug Chodpa. Chodjug is the Bodhicharya Avatara. Chodpa means offering. So that's why we call this Bodhicharya Avatara offering. So in the 19th century, there was a great, many of you know, Nyingma master called Paltrul Rinpoche. And basically, he created this special ceremony in different monasteries in Tibet. It's because he recognized that this teaching is one of the great teachings of Mahayana Buddhism. So Paltrul Rinpoche, as you know, he taught this text. They said more than 100 times. There's 10 chapters, right? 10 chapters, more than 100 times. Different monasteries all over Tibet. And he developed these teachings everywhere in Tibet. So when Paltrul Rinpoche started this teaching, this ceremony, lots of people got together and they arranged very extensive offerings, right? So first they would renew the Bodhisattva vows every morning. And then everyone would meditate together according to the oral instructions of Paltrul Rinpoche. And then they would recite the entire Bodhicharya Avatara, chapter by chapter throughout the day. Because Tibetan people love to recitations, recite all mantras and prayers, even though they don't understand completely, but they just, the bottom is, good thing is they totally believe in Buddha Dharma, no doubt about it. So then that's good, even though you don't understand everything. There's no way like to understand all these 10 chapters, the meaning. When I start study this, the way of Bodhisattva, the commentary on Khenpo Sherab the way of Bodhicharya Avatara, then the beginning there is like the biography of Shantadewa. Now it's like when I read it, it's so easy, but that time it's very difficult to understand without teachers, you know. So even like that, you know, it's difficult to understand all the meaning of the way of Bodhisattva, but they just recite the chapter by chapter, the 10 chapters throughout the day. That's how the great master Paltrul Rinpoche created and established this special ceremony in the 19th century in Tibet. I mean, still people do these special events once a year at many different monasteries in Tibet. Because Paltrul Rinpoche dedicated so much of his time to teach this teaching. And he was, of course, great Bodhisattva, a lineage holder. So, you know, a lot of teachers regarded Paltrul Rinpoche as an emanation of Shantadewa. I mean, they kind of very similar. His like external Paltrul Rinpoche's, you know, external behavior was very, very similar to Shantadewa. When people meet him, he behaved as an ordinary person. You know, it's very unique. Like he's just very easy person. You know, he talks everyone, and you know, not like these days, like the high, like Paltrul Rinpoche is the highest teacher at that time, but he never sit on like gold throne and give empowerment, all that kind of these days these teachers do. Um, but he was, you know, great bodhisattva, especially like Paltrul Rinpoche was so nice with like Tibetan, like poor people, all that, you know. So he just goes everywhere and talk to them and help them sort of how to develop bodhicitta, make them happy, all that. So as a follower of his teaching, I thought it would be great if we are able to create this special ceremony here in the West once every year. I think it's so important because then people have a chance to understand how to practice bodhicitta based on Shantandeva's teachings and Paltrul Rinpoche's instructions. Um, because the way of bodhisattva practice, this text is very beneficial for everyone. And especially because we have a great unbroken lineage of Bodhicharya Avatara. As you know, between my teacher and Paltrul Rinpoche, we believe that, as I said, Paltrul Rinpoche is an emanation of Shantideva himself. So between my teacher and Paltrul Rinpoche, there are only two people, two teachers. You know, Kanchen Tupten Chumpel was two of my teachers, root teacher, right? And then Kanchen Yonga, he was from, I think, Dzogchen Monastery. Kanchen Yonga, who was a Paltrul Rinpoche's student. And then Kanchen Yonga was the teacher of Kanchen Tupten Chumpa, right? Tupten Chumpa's student, Kanchen Jingme Panzo, Kanchen Pamatse, all that. So there are two people. So we are very close. We have this unbroken lineage of sort of Bodhicharya Avatara. So you see, we are very close to Paltrul Rinpoche. Because, you know, without transmission, we don't have the lineage, right? Without lineage, there is no blessing. No blessing means there is no continuity, right? Nothing will grow. Like we have all these instructions from Shantandewa to Paltrul Rinpoche to my teachers, and then I have lots of instructions from my teachers to share all of you, and then someday I hope you will share those things to other people with your pure motivation. That's how lineage, you know, transmission, you know, continue, you know, generation to generation. So as you know, we started last year, and this is the second time. So for, I think, as I said, there's one teacher doing this again, but other than that, not many teachers doing this practice in the West. I don't know why. So I think we are very fortunate to be able to start this teaching and share this with others. I hope, just like in Tibet, this practice will flourish here and become more and more common in the West. Because then we have chance to really practice bodhicitta, both inspiration and action bodhicitta. Everything, like practice 6 paramitas, like everything about Buddhism. six paramitas, which is this text, right? So that is a short introduction to this retreat. Okay, now we're going to practice and recite the prayers, the chapters. But before we do that, again, sit comfortably and look at your mind, your thoughts, check your feelings, reflect on all that, and try to let go of all wandering thoughts and feelings and be mindful. And then we can practice together. And you can think, I come here, practice the Dharma with the Sangha members for the benefit of all living beings. You can think like right now at this moment, if you think deeply, how many beings are suffering from all kinds of situations. So that means we should put ourselves in their place, their situation, and then feel the nature of love and compassion for them, generate that kind of positive motivation, and try to relax and be fully present, be mindful. That's the foundation. And then it's also important to recognize how fortunate we are, and then deeply appreciate our wonderful life, because the happiness is about appreciation. Happiness is not, we're not looking for happiness in the future, looking for happiness at this moment. So if you appreciate and recognize you're fortunate, then your happiness is there. So deeply appreciate our wonderful life, this opportunity, get together, do things together, practice bodhicitta together. I mean, this is really great. I mean, like, this is like once a lifetime, maybe, this kind of like activity, bodhicitta activity together. So recognize that fortunate opportunity and we have right now, and then be happy and satisfied with everything. And with that kind of motivation, then we should start with the sadhanas. And then if we have time after the recitation, then we should meditate on Shantadeva's Guru Yoga practice, okay? So we'll see. But first, we're going to recite the first chapter of the Way of Bodhisattva, which is the benefit of bodhicitta. So not just only recite, but you have to focus on the meaning of the words, okay? And if you don't understand something, just let me know and I can explain that. With that, I think we have a wonderful Umzit leader. So follow him and recite the first chapter here right now.
Homage to all the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas. To the Sugata, Sugata, with the Dhamma, Bhaya, the Vision, Noble Servant, and the all the worthy of the creation, I respectfully pay homage. According to the scripture, Christ will now be pleased, right?